Uganda Airlines is uncertain on whether the revived national carrier will be launching its first commercial flight in July as earlier expected. This is due to delays in acquiring the air operator certificate, among other requirements. Oscar Emasu, research analyst, equity and fixed income at Crested Capital, joined us earlier to shed more light on this.
Well, if you look at the trends that are happening now, our economy is really gearing up with opportunities. The oil and gas sector there is starting to boom, and so many other dots that have been connected together. So I think it has been a very good time for us to start talking about the airline and actually see it being revived. So it is a wonderful thing that is going to happen to us, like we have already seen, and we expect to have similar kind of picture. In terms of our country being projected internationally, just like the Kenyans have been done with Kenya Airways, the Rwandans have been done with Rwanda Air, and the Ethiopians. So it is some kind of national pride that we are all interested in now.
Yes, and we see that the airline was scheduled to launch earlier next month, which is in July. But the CEO, Mr. Ephraim, just said that the airline is yet to receive their air operator license. Why the delay and what's the way forward?
Already we have milestones that have been hit. We have 2 airlines there, and we expect to have another 2 in the next quarter or so. So all these are positive indicators, but we need to fast track on the other developments that like securing routes, the other services, securing other regional offices here and there. So all those are other things that need to complement the already achieved progress. So. But ultimately, with time, let's give them 1 year or something, to have the airline running. It might be late behind the scheduled, start in July. But it is good to get things right, other than meeting Ugandans, expectations. Everybody is excited. So if you rush to meet them, you may end up making mistakes. And since it is a revival, you do not want to make similar mistakes you made earlier. So I think it is late, but if we give them good time and they deliver on the expected timelines here and there, probably we'll have some good progress. Say a month or so after the deadline of July.
Yeah, and if we're already having conversations around the launch, which was expected earlier in July, and July is just 4 days away, had the airline really shared with us the destination that they will be first going to, and then have also the air tickets already been put out on the market?
Well, all those are things that are work in progress. Like you mentioned, July is about a couple of days away. But the most important thing is that we have the airlines running, and the responsible authorities there are trying to get licenses, trying to secure regional routes. If you remember, there. The Minister of Works mentioned that we will start with regional flights around the region, and then maybe probably towards the end of next year, that is December. So we expect to have the other long routes. But it is good to have the shorter routes done first, and then maybe you can start thinking about the other long destinations.
The Transport and Works Minister, Monica, revealed that Uganda Airlines already has signed 47 air bilateral agreements that need to be activated. What does that mean? Well,
the airline space is one that that is international. For it to operate, you have to have acceptance of the different, if it is a regional block, for example, we have to understand with the Kenyan authorities. We have to have an understanding with the Tanzanian authorities. As you will understand, all of them have national carriers. So it is in our best interest that we have a certain kind of understanding, multilaterally, and also to guarantee that the airline will be allowed to fly in some of those countries and regions.
Yes, and earlier on you touched on the fact that Uganda Airlines has already bought 4 aircrafts. 2 have already arrived and 2 are expected to arrive later this year. Now, how much did it really cost?
Well, if we look at, the first two aircrafts that were bought, I think it cost them about 26 or so $million. And, just if you look at, the next two that we are going to have a similar type, the minister there mentioned, they have already deposited about 20% of the amount. So that should be about $6 or $7 million for the next two aircraft that we are going to get. So in total, you're talking about something like 26 or $25 million in total.
Yes, and after nearly 20 years of the airline not in operations, so much has changed. And would you say that now the airline is ready to compete with the regional players? And what will the airline have to do in order for it to stand out?
Well, I think from the start, I think we have one thing that we have gotten right, that we have actualized the fact that we need an airline, and we have acquired some aircraft. I think that is a very positive start. And then I think the next idea is that all of these regional aircrafts have had one thing in common, that they have had government support behind them. Whether through the storm, through the whatever kind of financial weather that there is, they have had government support behind them. So I think that is also one aspect that we are seeing Uganda Airlines starting to have. That the president has mentioned that we need an airline. The politicians are behind it. So it is something that is key in the success of the airline. And also like the minister mentioned there, having that multilateral cooperation understanding is also very key to the success of our airline. We have seen, the airline over the last couple of months, run, a recruitment drive. I think it will also be very important that we have, very professional staff, that will run our airline.
Yes, and now before I let you go, what's the government's plan to keep the airline afloat, and how much are they willing to invest until it makes profits?
Well, profitability for the airline is something, that it might be there on paper that, over the next 2-3 years will be profitable, but it is a journey that we walk as we get there. There are different dynamics that will determine, whether we will be profitable or not. Our neighbors in Kenya are having, challenges, and we have a lot to learn from them. And also we have a very other, unique story in Ethiopia Airlines, and we are seeing them being profitable. So we have, we are learning, real examples of, Kenya Airways with its, turbulence, and then Ethiopia Airlines with its, success. So it is, there are things that I think, will help management, will help, the responsible team, the authorities there, the ministry, to get things right.